Hey, Ralph.
Hello.
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 Hey, hi everyone.
Hey, Felix.
How we doing this morning, everybody? Or afternoon, or whatever time it is in your particular time zone.
Good. Are you, David?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Dan. Uh, Enjoying some lovely fall sun here in the Midwest. So it's the leaves are changing. We have shades of green, red, orange, yellow, all across the board. And yeah, fall is like one of my favorite times of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, lovely.
I agree. Pretty nice over here too. I'm in Italy, for those who don't know, and it's a lovely day, and then it gets nice and crisp and cool at night. It's a really great feeling. The transition feels good.
Well, I was really excited to see the last recording landed on YouTube. I think we'll have to, start making sure that it's in Slack or for other people to be able to find them easier. But yeah, it was great to see the recording land. Did we update the notes with the link to the recording? If not, I'll go through and do that right now.
Yeah, no, we haven't. Did things change? Are the recordings still going to the Hyperlight YouTube channel or some LF channel?
It's on the CNCF Hyperlight channel.
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks. The last video there, the October 1st meeting? Yeah. Can't really find it, David, so I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, discovery is not easy.
Well, I found this one, but it doesn't have the last meeting that we had, right?
It has 10-1. So that would have been a month ago.
Oh, I remember. I
Four to
think
six
Mark
minutes.
Mark might have mentioned that we lost the recording for the last think.
Oh, he mentioned that there was one that didn't record for some reason, or they
Yeah.
lost it or something,
Okay, let
which
me
is a
look into
shame.
that a little bit. I should have access to that.
All right, so we're already 5 past. Maybe this is a good time to get started. Would anyone like to host today? Not everybody at once.
What does host entail? I will be glad to volunteer.
You like the host?
I guess.
All right.
Don't know how to do that. You
Ralph,
might
the
as well help
floor,
help. You
the floor is
might
yours.
as well help me learn how to host. How does that work?
Sounds good. Yeah, usually we share a screen with the agenda items and we go through them one by one.
Okay.
That's
All right. And I haven't signed in, so I can't modify them, but I can share them.
we can probably have also someone assigned for note taking. Uh, yeah, James, you got it? Nice.
Can you see the magic screen?
I can see it.
All right. This is the correct one, right? Go
Yep,
down here to the agenda.
you got it.
Got some people here. Everybody's happy. We're going to have more people, except for now I can't find everybody else. There we are. All right. I think I'm in a good position here. And then all we need is somebody with access to add the YouTube link to the markdown because David dropped it into the chat, which is great. Vineet has a search query. Probably ends up in the same place. Is that correct, Vineet?
For me, it did. Yeah, but I
Hey,
think
if it works on your machine, let's ship it.
Yeah, can
All
confirm I
right.
see the meeting from the 15th posted, just waiting.
And we do have one discussion item. We've got some announcements. We have one discussion item. If anybody else wants to talk about anything, they just drop it in there so we get to it. No harm picking up discussion items on the fly. So we'll get underway. So if I'm doing the right thing, which is not clear to me at all, I'd say, hey, let's start with announcements. Well, actually, I'd say, is everybody here, familiar with each other? Would anybody like here for the first time? Or Vineet and Shailesh, you've been here before?
Yeah, we have been before.
yeah.
Great. Happy to have you back. I get a chance. I have a conflicting meeting, so I don't show up all the time. Just so you, and it's nice to meet you. I'm Ralph. I am what David in the engineering team refers to as PM overhead. My job is to cause more problems than I actually remove, and I think I'm pretty good at it, frankly. So we'll give it a shot. It was a real pleasure to meet you. So if we move from there into announcements, YouTube is now auto publishing. So that means it just automatically goes from here to there. Is that what auto publishing means? Is David?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
The gist of it is
We
it automatically. Oh, I'm sorry. The gist of it
no,
is
go
it
ahead.
automatically starts recording at the beginning of the meetings. It prompts users with an acknowledgement to understand that it is recording prior to that, so that if anybody doesn't really want to be part of the recording, that's totally okay too. Welcome to join and just listen in and keep
Oh,
your
that's
video
pretty
off.
cool.
And then at the end of those, it automatically gets published up to YouTube. I'm not sure. I think Mark may have marked all of them as for publish on the last time that he went through and didn't have 1015, the previous iteration,
Okay.
available to publish. So those are now published, and I'll make sure we babysit those for a little bit to make sure exactly what the routine is. Make sure they get out there.
Okay.
So thanks, y'all.
Cool. And in fact, when I'm looking at the screen that I'm sharing on the 1015 one, the recording link is there. I'm assuming that's the correct one for that one. Okay. That's great. Not doing things by hand is fantastic. And I also like the little feature that you described, the fact that you can sort of opt out for yourself, which is really nice. Not everybody needs to be Zoomed and YouTubed. So the second announcement is that we released version 0.9.1. Dan or David or somebody else, do you want to describe sort of the high order features in that one? Or was that it looks like a minor fix?
I can do that one.
Go for it.
So we backported, I think, 3 PRs to 0.9 to get some bug fixes in for AFD.
Okay,
And
that sounds great.
I think Simon finished that this morning or his evening. I don't know. So
And is there a sort of a quick bullet list of the kind of the bug fixes so that people using the older version have a rough idea of whether they're
yeah,
interested
so
in it?
he adds 2 things. The first thing is poison state to sandboxes. So if you do
Hmm.
something bad with the sandbox, you won't be able to continue using it until you restore it to a good state. The second thing is that it's possible to interrupt sandboxes in advance before if you call kill on a sandbox, but it's not already running. That was previously interrupting the next guest call, which
Okay.
was a feature or a bug, I'm not sure. But
We'll call it a feature and then let everybody interpret it as they will.
yeah,
You know, they're free to disagree, more or
but
less.
yeah, after this change, if you call interrupt on a sandbox before you run it, it does no longer interrupt or
Great.
cancel the next run.
Okay, so it makes complete sense why we backported those. So I'm glad to see it. Thanks so much for the quick hit on the description.
Mm-hmm.
So the next bulleted item is working on release 0.11. Quick description about what's coming in that one.
I don't have it on the top of my head actually, but
Okay.
I can go look. Maybe somebody else
Yeah.
knows.
Somebody else?
Yeah, I'm pulling up the milestone right now. It
Okay.
says on GitHub that it's overdue by 1 day. There's still a couple of open items, but it's a release that we're planning to make soon. I don't know if we discussed it's going to be this week or just the next one, but it should be coming up. Also, something I wanted to highlight is that we've been discussing how we're going to work on keeping better track of issues that are milestones because through the past a couple of releases, we've just been pushing issues from, say, milestone 09 to 010 to 011 and so forth. So we might be adding labels to these issues with sizing and then reflect back, see how big a milestone is so we don't overcommit and like that. So the milestones better reflect the work that will be, release. Um, But yeah, quickly looking through the closed list, and Ralph, I can send this to you in the chat as well if you like to have it on the screen share.
Sure. See if it comes up in the right browser. Yes, it did.
So it seems like we have some improvements on guest tracing. We had a feature that previously existed, which was seccomp. It's now been removed. It was a source of lots of bugs and instability that we feel like it was just better to remove and leave the responsibility of seccomp to the embedder of Hyperlight. Some memory leaks. We've removed MSHV2 support from Hyperlight.
Hmm.
Anything else that I'm missing? Ludwig, James?
Improving tracing, which I think is always really, really important. Looks like we removed as much as we fixed or added, if not more. Which is great.
I think
Great
probably
stuff.
some debugging support in here too from Doru.
Yeah, let's see what's closed.
Yeah, I think the very
Closed.
last item, the PR, had support from map region and mapped memory and crash dumps and guest debugging.
Yeah. Great stuff. And what's still open here? We'll look over here real quick. Please don't leak. Please be statefully correct. Please set the right value. A little bit of KVM work. Please don't panic. And finish fantastic debugging. That's my interpretation. David, I see your hand.
Thanks, Ralph. So it would be really great, I think, if we can get Doro in the next one of these to talk about logging and tracing and some of the work that's going to be coming up for those, or some of the improvements that we're considering. It'd be really great to get some feedback and as well, be able to chat about this stuff and see if you know explain it a little bit so that folks in posterity could look back and have some better understanding of why we chose some of them and choices that we're making. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Benit and Shailesh, would you be interested in that in a conversation about that?
Yeah,
About
sure.
logging? Sorry.
But basically about the collection of diagnostic tools that you would expect. So that would involve tracing, that would involve logging, that would involve debugging.
Yeah, sure. I think he also created a document for it, and we discussed it in last meeting for some time. I'm
Okay,
not wrong.
great.
Yeah.
We'll find that. So, because I've got to read it as much as anybody else. I'm looking forward to it. Vineet, is that of interest to you as well?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Put it on the agenda for next week or next meeting. All right. So that's for announcements, and we schedule a few things. And we move on to discussion items, and the big one here is resetting MSRs, reset vCPU state, annoying on KVM. Ludwig, the floor is yours.
All right, so to set some context here, so when we restore a sandbox to a snapshot, we reset all the memory to the state it was at that snapshot. We reset some registers as well. But there are some things we don't reset currently that we want to reset to prevent possibly leaking data between tenants, I don't know, communication between tenants, stuff like that, right? So one of those things is MSRs in this vCPU. Turns out, so MSR is just like a bunch of different registers that exist on the CPU, and it varies by like CPU model, vendor, all that stuff. And so if you have to keep manually track of all these registers and which of them it's possible for guests to modify, we would need to manually reset about like 200 registers or something back to their default values after a snapshot restore. And we would need to do this on a like per CPU model because MSRs differ. So there exists some features to basically just block the guest from writing any MSR at all. So that exists on MSHV and on Windows, but on KVM that does not exist in the Rust bindings for KVM. So if we want to do it on KVM, we would need to add some support for that either upstream or in a fork, or just do it ourselves somehow. And so my question is basically, do we want to maintain like a list of per processor's MSRs that we need to reset? Or do we implement this MSR kind of whitelist block thing in upstream KVM crate because it already exists in the C API? Yeah, that was what I wanted to discuss. Simon?
Yeah, question. I'm pretty certain there are certain MSRs that we actually want to enable, so we don't want to block them all, right? Am I correct?
So I'm not 100% sure, but I think for running like most guests, I don't think they need access to MSRs, or at least not to write to them.
Okay. But the APIs allow us to filter, not just to block them all, correct?
Yeah, that's the API on KVM. I'm not exactly sure about Windows and how MSHP work, but I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because I think that's a consideration for which way you go. Because if we can't filter, then we probably have to do something ourselves, like track
Yeah.
them all.
I believe it should be possible to filter them.
Okay.
So we can have a whitelist, and then we only reset those that we know are writable.
In that case, my vote would be we add the capability to the Rust VMM KVM crates. If we need to maintain a fork in the short term while we get that change upstream, then that seems like a reasonable price to pay. The alternatives seem horrible.
Yeah, seems a little bit unfeasible. All right. I think I agree with you, Simon. Any other opinions?
Any objections to taking that path, David?
So is the threat model here the fact that somebody could leave behind some information in the MSR and pick it up on the next MSR or next invocation if they had special knowledge of MSRs?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is kind of a silly question. Is there a way to enumerate all the MSRs for a given like chip? Is that
No.
Is that available?
Well, so all MSRs are just like indexed by some index. So I tried like making a test and just iterating some random known ranges, and I got roughly like 200 that are writable from the guest. But the problem I think is it differs by CPU model and vendor.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them.
It's just common ranges, and then each uses their own set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and there may be some that are actually used for real by software. So
yeah,
those we can't just blanket mask, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it should be fine to just have a whitelist and blow up if somebody tries to write to some MSR we don't expect. Maybe with some configuration to allow specifics if they want it.
Yeah, that might be a risk reward kind of thing. If you want to turn this stuff on, you can, and have some configuration for it. That seems reasonable.
Yeah. All right, sounds good.
Cool. Any other comments there? Shalish, I was wondering how you're all making out on your various things that you were looking into.
Yeah, I was working on this thing, modifying the host bindgen macro. So I have there were a few things that I didn't know, so I have just finished learning proc macros and wasm about WebAssembly, whatever was required. So I now understand this Hyperlight component util crate, and I have a idea in my head. So I haven't made any changes. There were a lot of things that I had to learn. So I was thinking that, I mean, is it okay if I talk about this now? What I will change? I mean, I was thinking what I will do. Yeah. Sure. Can I discuss now? Like, can I share?
Yeah, yeah, this is a great time to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I cannot share screen. Oh,
And
One moment.
It's great that you're learning. That's that's the goal here. So, and there's just definitely no pressure on the timeline. So, just as you have questions, make sure you reach out.
Okay, try sharing now. Let's see if you have the power.
okay. I'll just give me a minute. I'll reopen my browser.
No worries. Okay. I'm seeing code.
Are other people getting audio or?
Nope. Shailesh, are you talking? We do see the screen. Ah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was talking, but I'm sorry. I was saying, so I was thinking that we'll have to change this parsing method of parsing the input, because now until now we were just we were just passing the path of this .wasm file that gets compiled. So instead of this parsing as a literal string, we'll have to parse it as some type. So this whole thing will change. And Ludwig shared with me a few weeks ago this repository which parses this. Is the source. So they do the same thing. They use a different a new type to parse all of these formats. Like, this is the name of the world, and this is the path of the .wasm file or .wit file, and so all of these from here to here, this is based on the world name. So I think something similar we want in our project as well. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so I think we want to have, like, right now we pass a string to the file or the folder like they do. I don't think we support folders, but we pass a string to the WIP file, or it's the WASM file, I think, directly instead of a WIT file. And then, yeah, we'll just want to add another parameter to that.
Yeah, so for that,
macro, yep.
To pass that macro, we that's what I came across that we cannot parse it as a string anymore. So I was thinking to create a new type which will have a path and a world name, and we will then have to do something. I don't have the full idea yet, but these two things can be part of can be fields of that new struct.
So I think we can still take in the input. It's the read wit type from file part that we would want to modify, so that on line 74 there, I think, is where we would pass in a world.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know that we need to change the macro input, because I think the macro input is the input of the function that you put the macro on. And so then you're going to get.
So until here, we are just parsing the path of the file. Then we are also taking in consideration this env variable. Yeah, from here we are actually doing the parsing and converting it to Rust code.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's
you are saying
inside,
that
if you go into the read wit type from file, I believe that is where a lot of this logic happens. Yeah.
So okay, you're saying this is where right. So we are yeah, we are doing all of this parsing here.
Yeah, exactly. And so somewhere in here, we'll need to find, so somewhere in here it tracks down the world. And I don't, that's the part I don't know off the top of my head.
Sure. So you are saying I don't have to create a new type, because that is how I was thinking that let's create a new type and take two.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Okay.
But I can take a look at that and see if I can come up. I honestly, that's as far as I got, was like, I think it would be line 74, somewhere in that function is where we'd kind of change things, and we'd pass in an additional string. Oh, you're saying, okay, sorry.
So when you pass, when this token stream is passed to this host by engine function, what actually gets passed here is this thing.
Yeah, okay,
This
and it's
thing.
the path. Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, so you'll need
If
to add
you
another
want to
parameter
pass,
there. Yeah.
If you want to give a world like this, so this will be the world name. Then this token stream will be something else.
Yes, you're right. Sorry about that. Yeah.
So I think this is how we will do. I will try a few ways, but I don't have a full idea in my head. This is my first thought that okay, I'll do it like this. I'll take in this will be a token stream, but this input when we parse it, we'll use something else instead of a synlit string.
Yes, that sounds like the right first step. Yep.
Okay, then I haven't dug. I haven't thought as far as what I'll do in these functions, but I'll think and try to raise a PR as soon as I have an idea.
Yeah, that seems like a good first step, though.
Sure. Thanks. That's it. And one more question regarding Hyperlight WASM repository. So this is the repository that creates guests only, right? It doesn't compile host.
No, actually this will, this project will compiles the WASM time host, and creates an embedding for like the host side, and then it accepts guests later on. So you don't you don't have to really do anything here in this project. Your changes will eventually get upstreamed into this project so that we can select worlds there once it's merged into the core.
Yeah, you are importing the crate here, if I'm not wrong.
Correct. Yep.
I was just reading. So this, I have one more doubt. I'm sorry. So
Yeah, of course.
Hyperlight WASM crate is to work with WASM runtimes, and the normal Hyperlight this library is to work with the native runtimes instead of like if I create a guest and host using this library that will run directly on the host. Whereas if I create a host or a guest using this crate, that will run on the WASM runtime instead directly on the host, is like natively on the host.
Yeah, so both guests they'll run inside. They don't run on the host, but they run inside a virtual machine. So the virtual machine in core will just have your function and what you use, whereas the virtual machine with Hyperlight WASM will have it'll have WASM time embedded, and we'll be running your guest through WASM time that's embedded in that VM.
Oh, WASM time is embedded into the VM that we create.
In Hyperlight WASM, it is, yeah.
Okay.
And if you go back there, I can show you where it happens if you're interested.
Sure.
Yeah, in Hyperlight WASM, in the build script here, build RS, down a couple more, up a little bit, underneath, yeah, right there, build RS right above that one.
I'm sorry, I can't see. That's okay.
By the cargo.toml file. Oh yeah, that's another way to do it. Yeah, so
one?
do the next one. Yeah, so this gets, when you build Hyperlight WASM, this will get the WASM runtime and compile it and stick it on your local file system. It does a few other things here for packaging this up as a library, but this is where we actually like build the Hyperlight WASM runtime.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Build WASM runtime.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, and so that gets put as some bytes, and then when you create your VM, that gets embedded in the VM as the like runtime for running WASM guests. And so later on, when you use Hyperlight, you pass the WASM to it, and the WASM, we don't know how to run WASM directly, but the WASM time that's in there does. So.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing that I think is a little confusing here is the term host, right? Because there could be multiple hosts. The WASM time is usually considered a host, but then there's also the host embedding application. But for all intents and purposes, WASM time here is running as a guest inside of the host's VM. So it's all inside of that VM. So you have the guest code, which is the WASM module or component that gets passed in. You have WASM time, which I guess here we don't call a host, we call it just the runtime, and then the host embedding application. So
Okay. Because the Hyperlight library creates a host environment in which WASM runs as a guest, which runs our
instead of WASM
time. Okay.
Yep,
And
exactly.
on that WASM time, we are running other things, like what we actually want to run, like a function.
Yep.
Okay. For some reason, I'm not seeing the source of this page, but I want to do anyways. So source of this page, I should have it. Anyways, I I was looking. Sorry. This is the page. This is the Wasm runtime. I was talking about creating this thing. So when this library takes in an input, so they use a struct like this for as an input to the macro, and they are parsing it here in this section, this thing. So I was thinking we can do something similar and parse it like they are parsing, not with all of these variables, all of these fields, but we can have. I was thinking let's have a world and the path of the .wasm file.
Yep, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
I think that looks good. One thing that you might have to consider is that I think procedural macros, they have to take in a token stream, right? So you'll have to then properly interpret the token stream as a config, which might have to still go through one of the sort of predefined built-in types that you have, like let strings and so forth.
Yes, I haven't thought that far. I know it has to take a token stream.
Got it. Yeah, but I think that
Sure.
kind of looks good. I think you'll, one way or another, you'll have to pass in the wid world
Mm-hmm.
name.
Mm-hmm. So they're doing something here that I'll look at it, and sure.
Got it. Yeah, makes sense. So they parse them accurately.
They're taking everything as a token stream, then they're passing it, then creating another token stream.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sure. That's it. Thank you.
That's great for asking.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing
Fantastic
up questions.
stuff.
The best for these meetings. So please keep bringing up these points whenever you run across them.
Sure.
Vineet, you have anything to share, or shall we go ahead and wrap up?
So yeah, I can just quickly share my update. So I'm working on restructuring the integration tests and collaborated with James as well as Ludwig on the Slack channel in order to understand the problem and what we actually need to do. So I think I know those things now, and I'm slowly starting to make a head start into making sure I'm migrating the right tests and refactoring as needed. Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. If I look at the agenda, it looks like we've covered pretty much everything. Thanks everybody for the work they're doing, and also you two are doing wonderful stuff. Keep it on, and let us know what problems you're running into. That's exactly what the meetings are for, or the Slack channel is great for. So don't hesitate. We're doing tons of work on our side, trying to add things, make it faster, do better, all that kind of stuff at the same time. And we're going to end up asking you the same kinds of questions. So with that, I think we're probably done with the 1029 recording. Thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Now for the logistics. Do I click anything to stop anything, David or Dan? Or do I just walk away?
You just walk away.
You just walk away. Oh, and it's 2910, right, Ralph?
It's 2910? Yes, it is 2910. I'm trying to of course, I'm trying to, translate for you lame Americans into month, day, year, because that makes as much sense as imperial units.
Thank you again, Ralph.
It's
Cheers.
it's my personal gift. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.